The story of the name Reclaim it's really rooted in a bigger story. When God created humanity, he had an intention for people to engage with one another where they would understand and respect the dignity in one another, that they would live lives of hope, and that they would flourish in abundance. But what happened is when sin entered the world, that was lost. We ended up with broken systems. We ended up with people who are in broken relationships, with a sense of disorder in ourselves and the worlds around us. With faith as our foundation, we know that there's a promise that one day Jesus will return and restore things to his original intent in creation. So our question as an organization is, what are we called to do in this interim time, in this middle space between God's original intent in creation and his ultimate promise of restoration? God has called us to help people reclaim that sense of their God-given dignity, to help those who have been marginalized restore a sense of hope so that they can renew their lives and flourish. I spent 17 years in Beirut. I went there with a desire to really make an impact on people's lives. When I got there, I found out that's a lot harder than it sounds. And I really wrestled for years with the sense of, do I have value if I'm not operating at my peak potential, if I'm not using my gifts to their fullest? And what I discovered through Reclaim is that that's actually contrary to the way of the cross. In offering and surrendering my gifts to Jesus, he took me deeper into a reliance on him, into recognizing that he was the core of my strength, that he was the source of my identity. When we come that way, what it does is it frees up God to use our gifts in the way that he wants to use them, to engage in people's lives in a way where it's not about me feeling valuable, it's about God's work being done. I'm pursuing Jesus, and Jesus is using that pursuit of him to accomplish his mission in the world. The heart of transformational community development is that the work that we do is community owned and it's community led. And so we start by listening and coming alongside people so that we can then bring the expertise that we have to help them accomplish their goals so that those goals can be sustained for the future. Our vision is people and communities experiencing abundant life. That can only happen when the people in that community are at the center of it. My favorite part about the work I do with Reclaim is when I see people recognize that the way that God has designed them is beautiful. That when somebody who has felt marginalized, who has experienced vulnerability, when somebody has a voice who hasn't been heard, is heard. When somebody recognizes that God designed them and that design was good, and that in spite of their brokenness, in spite of the brokenness of the world we live in, that God handcrafted each individual, and that when people see that I don't need to be someone else, but that God made me, and that he has a plan for me to flourish, and a plan for me to be in a vibrant community, there's something that resonates so deeply in a person's soul, because that's what we were created to do. I want to be part of an organization that's not about what I accomplish or what I receive. It's an organization that is engaging in the world with or without me in a way that honors others and honors God. To live out God's mission in the world in a way that elevates what is close to God's heart, that elevates the lives of the people he's created, for Reclaim to be playing its role in that broader mission. That's what excites me.